Hello, this is Craig. Today I'm going to be showing you a little bit about Prison Architect and what I've learned from different YouTubers. Most of that is where I've got my information on how to play the game. I've been playing for a couple months now. I didn't get it until just recently. And I'm just still learning some new information, but I thought I'd compile what I do know and post a couple of videos about it. Starting off, I'll just do some entry level stuff, and right now we're looking at a prison that I've been working at for a little while. Gained this amount of money from previous prisons, building them, doing the tasks, and then basically just flipping them, selling them, and then starting over from a new prison. And that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to create a new prison, but not with any of the money that I've already gained. I'm going to just start right from the beginning. So I always go with a large prison, so I have more area. You can buy more down the road, but I'd like to just start off with as much as I can get. You can choose your different wardens. I usually go with the pacifier. None of them really stand out as being that much better than the rest, in my opinion. Sometimes I just go by which warden I want to use based off of what they look like. But we're going to go with the pacifier today. I pretty much just keep these how they're already checked. I still haven't tried any of the weather and temperature ones. Don't really do events or gangs. I do like it to generate forests so that you have extra wood. When they chop that down, you can save that for later. I don't want to deal with lakes or buildings. So with that, I'll just start it. Alright, so it starts off by giving you the area where the deliveries and the garbage will go. I'm just going to pause the time there. And let's see. And then usually I try to just find the center of the map so I can keep it symmetrical. I'm not really about the design and making it look the best out there. I'm more about the efficiency. But for this much, I don't mind taking the time to plan out where the center of the map will be to keep it symmetrical. So what I'm going to do is use my planning tool just to mark out where that half point is. If I zoom out far enough to get to the halfway point, I can't read the numbers. So I just leave it zoomed in enough to see it. That was 50. And 60, so 110. And 48. So 168 is the height of the map there. 168, so 84. 84 is how far I really want to go down from my halfway point. 60. And 24. There's my halfway. And then now to go across the map there. Can't read that. There's 90. And 96. So 186. 50. 40. 93. 93 is going to be my halfway point. Okay, so there we go. Got my halfway point for where I want to start. And so what I want to start with is going to be my power station. I'm going to put that right in the center. Once I get out of so maybe I need to play it a little bit further. And wait for them to deliver these parts. It out, it was on that tree right there. I assumed that they would just have that in the plan and then they would cut down the tree, but that wasn't going to work, but that's fine. Next I'm going to put my water pump station. I'm going to leave a gap because we're going to build capacity. I need a bigger gap than that. I don't know. Won't let me put anything down there. Okay, so we're gonna put it there, and I'm gonna leave a gap for capacitors that are gonna go around that area. So I keep those in the center for really no particular reason. I read before that, or watched a video before talking about how they wanted it that way because when you have large pipes coming from it, that's a good tunneling channel for the prisoners later down the road. So I just kind of stuck with it, and that's actually just how I'm going to leave it. So because this is the center of my map, I'd like a pathway to be going through there, so I'm going to go back to planning and plan that out. I like my pathways to be 2 squares wide so that when I do a big jail door, it fills that space. So I'm going to be a little bit off center with it by making this, but I'm okay with that. I also don't really care if it's walls, objects, or pathways. I don't use it in that sense for the planning, I just use it for spacing, which I realize I just did wrong. So I guess I will leave that there and then just go down 1. And then I'll get rid of that. So there we go. There is my pathway that will lead to the center of the map. And I see some people, they move their deliveries and then put them on the other side of the road. I think I am going to go with that option. So all I have to do is go down here to rooms, find deliveries. I'm going to keep it the same length. You can only go up to 1 square away from the edge of the map. but that should be just fine. I'll probably end up getting a lot more deliveries in the beginning with all the foundation stuff coming in, so I will expand that. Garbage, I've never seen a lot of that, so we'll keep that the same. I'll get rid of that and get rid of that. So now what I want to do is start following my to-do list once I get some grants. So I'm going to go to grants, and I'm going to do the first two. Very easy. They basically just set you up for what your prison's going to need anyway. So those are the two grants and what they want you to do for them. So you can do two at a time starting off. Eventually down the road you can eventually get the opportunity for more grants at any given time, but two is usually just fine for me. So the one thing I learned too is keeping your indoors and your outdoors. So certain things will only be able to be built indoors. Most things, actually, most rooms have to be indoors, and in order to do that you have to build a foundation. You can't just build your wall. So you have the option between brick or concrete. Basically I just want to always stay the same. I don't really care which one's which, but as long as I'm always building with one or the other. So first thing I'm going to do is build my entryway, which is going to be just in line with the path from the center. And I am going to do some planning for this as well. Starting off, I didn't plan. I did plan, but didn't use the planning tool, and just built stuff, saw how it looked, and if I didn't like it, I just tore it down and rebuilt it. This will save you a few steps. It's much quicker to see what you're working with before you actually put it in place. So first one is the holding cell. I'm going to build a holding cell, which I'll just end up turning into a reception later, pretty much just as soon as I complete it, because I don't use the holding cell all too often, especially in the beginning, because I'll just have cells ready for them to go to. So I'm going to try to just use what it says and say they're walls. So we're going to have an entryway here, and then our double jail door will be right there. And this seems like a good spot to end the hallway. And so now we'll start the reception area, or the holding cell. So it helps to know what the object size is going to be before you start putting stuff down, because it just makes it easier when you're doing the planning. So I do know that when I build the reception, it's going to require an office desk, a chair, and a bench. A table. So the office desk is going to be 2 wide, and the table is going to be 4. So I'm just going to plan for a big reception area, and pretend that I will be getting all that stuff right away, which I won't, but I want to have the space for it later. The other thing to note is you can build stuff based off of whether you want to make it realistic and then they have room to walk around certain things, or you can build it as close together as possible and they'll just climb over it or just walk through it. And I do that when I get to the canteens, just to fit more tables into one area. I still keep a maximum amount of prisoners. We'll get to that, but Usually I just try to fit stuff into as small of a space as possible. So this will be our reception area, holding cell to start off with. I'll end up putting a bench and a toilet in there to get the requirements for that. So the next one, I'll just go pretty much right down the list. The next one's going to be a shower. So in planning this, the one thing I've learned is that you want your prisoners to be able to do whatever they want, whenever and wherever they want. So although you'll have designated times for eat or shower or yard, you'll want to give them the amenities to do what they want to do during that time. So even with a shower, although that's what that time is allotted for, that may not be what they need. They don't need to take a shower, but maybe they need to fulfill their family needs and make a phone call, or their free time to play pool in the shower. So I just create an area, almost like a shower lobby, in which I can fit those type things. So I'm going to create a space there for things, even bench, even for comfort, or they just want to sit down. So we're going to create that area there, and then I'll have a wall. And so as I said, I control the number of prisoners I want in a canteen. I also do that for the shower. I like to keep it in sets of 12, so I plan on probably having 24 prisoners in this area. I used to just have all the shower heads in one area, and it was just kind of like a swarm of people came in, they used the shower anywhere, and then left. Then I had seen where it's better to keep it a little bit more private, and so I kind of come up with all these individual showers in order for them to maintain their privacy, have less open area, and it does seem to have had a positive effect on it. There hasn't been as many fights in the shower, so I just continue to go with that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so we'll have 6 there, and I leave enough space for the shower head and the drain to be just outside of that. So I'll do the other side. And I went too far. And okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to go one more. Okay. So there we go. Enough room for 24 people to shower once I install everything. And let's see where I want to make my entryway. So there's 11 there, so I'm just going to make it a single door to get in. Maybe I'll just keep it aligned with those. So let's do this. Let's put that and that, and there'll be 2 entries to get into the shower area, and then I'll keep my benches, any phones, any TVs or radios down here, and I'll have the shower area. So next we're going to build a yard. So I'll just do the yard right next to that. And I just decided what I wanted for a general area in order to keep it consistent, because I'm basically going to end up building a shower, a yard, a canteen, and maybe a kitchen for each individual type of low security, medium security, and high security. I've found that it keeps them separated, and well, I know that it keeps it separated, but I found that while doing that, it causes a lot less fights. They stay with their own grade of people, and the high security still, or max security, still get into fights every once in a while, but it's better to keep them away from the low to normal security ones. So I'm going to build my yard. What I'll do is, what I'm going to do is, around the yard, I want to have a pathway. So the one thing I've learned too is that the type of material you have on the ground controls the speed that the prisoner travels. So if you have a high speed area, they can fulfill their exercise needs, which I'm still going to put weight benches out here. But so this is going to be the bottom corner there. I want it to be 8 by 8. And I'll switch it to that so I can tell the difference, and then I'm going to build a 2-wide pathway all the way around. And then I'm going to build my wall around it, which is just going to end up being a fence. I'm not sure if I want to do the make it a fence and keep this open area. It really doesn't matter. It'll still be outside if you don't build a foundation in this area. But one thing to note is that if you do build a fence and keep nothing in this area, I forget the distance, but if there's a certain amount of distance in which someone from the outside world can get to the fence, they can throw contraband in, and that can be another source of their tools and weapons that I didn't really think about until I heard about it. So that's where I'm going to put that yard there, and kitchen. So I want to build a canteen first, so I will skip that in this case. Also, I guess I'll put a door over here, which the opening is an odd number again. So I'll just put them on the edges there, and that's where they'll be able to come in with a jail door. So next, this is where I'm fine with it not being realistic and just fitting as much as I can in one. So each table's is 4, so I'll end up needing 6 tables to accommodate my 24 prisoners. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to have 2 rows this way of 3. So there's the bench, the table, the bench, the next table there. So table, bench, table, and then bench, table. No, that's the table. Yeah, bench, table. So that should be right. I have a bench here, a table, a bench, a table, bench, a table, a bench. So my wall is going to be here. And again, I do want to provide them with the other amenities while they're here, so I will go another 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it just makes it even right there. How great is that? So there we go. And this is going to be our canteen area. But I do need my serving table, and that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And so I'll also need entry into the kitchen, which I'll put there. And then for this I think I'm only going to need 1 fridge, 1 cooker, 1 sink, but I will allow for room for more than that. So I'm going to do the 2 wide for the cooker and the fridge, and the sink will be 3. And then they also need area for their storage, so you know what, I'm just gonna make it even there. And call that good. So that'll be enough for my kitchen, my canteen. So pretty much all the structures I need are ready to go for the first grant. So again, the tables don't really matter, or the doors don't matter, because they're just going to walk right over the tables wherever they go in. So I'll just keep it in line with my kitchen door. And yeah, I think I'm just going to end the video on that. I'm going to have more than just entry level details in the next few videos, but I just kind of wanted to lay out a couple of points that I've learned from other people and just kind of combined all that information. So that'll be the end of that video. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to change my intake. Right now I'd like it to be closed. I don't want to be rushed with any prisoners coming before I'm ready for them. You can also go to fill capacity, and with a capacity of 0, there won't be anyone coming. So I'm going to go back here, put down my power station, right here in the center. And I don't know why it's not working. That's odd. Why is this not working for me? Alright, never had a problem with that before. Let's see. Let's try. Why isn't it placing my power station?